Hi, guys. Um, hmm. Okay. I'm like, oh my God, did I not do this right? Oh, it's so funny. Oh my God. Lady loves. It has been a month for me. Like crazy. Okay, I'm really excited to be here with you. For it's just been like I know you guys were here last week. I got knocked out with the worst flu. I even have a fever blister, like just craziness. And I'm just so blessed that I was able to show up last week because I have been down for the count. Um, and I can tell you guys more about that, and I'll tell you about what transpired, the healing that I had, like what it all was. But you know, when we always talk about loving yourself as is, showing up regardless, being that, like it's funny because I have, a lot of obviously entrepreneurial friends and we're all online all the time. And I just like, I felt so bad. Like, and I was like, this is not a flu. Like, this is crazy. I feel like I have mono, like I can't get out of my own way. Anyway, long story. You're going to hear about it on my podcast, and you're going to hear about what I did and how I healed, and how, like, just on Sunday, I couldn't even get out of bed. And here I am today, and I feel fantastic. And I'll tell you what I did and the intuitive guidance that I received and how I did that healing. And it's also a part of what we're going to talk about today, because everything that I teach, this whole For the Holiday series, so a few things I want to say that I'm going to wrap into is, one, being worthy of being seen now, releasing all judgments. Like, obviously I'm sitting here and I'm like, oh, this sucks. Like, I have this cold sore, like fever blister thing I don't even know on my face. And, like, it's almost like having like a giant zit that's like right here, and honestly, like, this is like the best it's been. Like, my lip was like, right. And it's just going, yeah. And there's people that need to hear what I have to say. And I don't really care, like, I'm beautiful regardless. It's just something on the exterior of me. It doesn't mean anything. So I just want you guys, everything that I'm saying and everything that I'm going to be sharing with you, I just want you to think about, how does that apply to you in your life? Because I'm a firm believer and will say, and I always know, that anybody that shows up, especially live, anybody that registers, which we always have so many people register, and then it's always fascinating to me, the people that make the time to show up live. I'm not poo-pooing those people that are going to listen to the replay that are like, dude, it's a crazy time of year. I really wanted to, but I couldn't. Like, I totally get that. That's why we love replays. And that's why I always say, register. I will send you a replay. I am on your side, girl. I get it. I also want you to get that if you're here, there's messages that are meant for you. Take what speaks to you, leave what doesn't. You don't have to apply everything I say. I say a lot. I also talk very fast. That's why you get a replay. So you can pause me and keep listening and do all the things. So I will say, though, again, everything that happens to me, I always know that it's meant to share. So, of course I was sitting there like, well, like, this sucks. And, we turn this into a series, and, everything we do, we like to offer again, and like, blah, 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 blah. And then I was just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm a human being. Like people get sick. Like, I'm just so grateful to actually be here and feel okay. Cause I was actually told by a doctor that was like, you have an ear infection, like, like all of these things that, like, your eardrum's going to burst, like, you can't fly home. And I was like, it's Christmas. Like, I'm not going to not be with my family, but at the same time, I don't want my eardrum to burst on the plane, and that would suck. So the fact that, like, I literally feel like I'm like a little Christmas miracle right now, because that was just Sunday, and here I am. And I will tell you what I did, but you have to stay tuned. You actually have to tune into the podcast where I'm going to talk about how to connect in and heal your body. So we'll do that on another thing. I'm going to save that. because it's so epic, and it's actually what I do with my clients, and it's what I've done with myself. I like legit can say I fully believe, hands down, that I fully believe in miracles, and I fully believe in medical miracles, and that they happen all the time, and we actually have to tune in to believe that we're in alignment and we're deserving of them. I also believe that we're all deserving of everything that we desire, and that we're not meant to struggle with anything. And it was not at all why we're here, and we're going to tie that in even more, because when we're talking about Whole for the Holidays is not just, oh my God, I want to get some healthy tips because I don't want to put on weight, and I want to make sure that I don't eat everything in sight and feel like crap about myself for this and that. Whole for the Holidays is, I actually want to be so whole and complete within myself that I don't seek anything outside of me. I'm going to say this again because I really want you to get it. Whole for the Holidays, wholeness, my entire brand, my business is all about knowing that you are fully whole and complete exactly as you are right now in this very moment, that there is nothing outside of you that you need that's going to grant you acceptance, approval, or worthiness on any plane. There is nothing you can buy. There is no person you can call in. There is no new job. There is nothing. If you're sitting there going, well, that sucks because I don't really like my life and I'm not happy in this body and I want this, then I have to say that that's where we actually need to start. Because as long as you keep insisting there's something outside of you, that there's a different place, thing, person that's needed, that you're waiting to get certain approval or acceptance, that you're hoping that you're going to go home and everyone's going to be like, oh my God, and be completely different. They are not. It's about you being different, your experience of them being different. It's about you being in such peace and in such vibrational alignment with who you are. So everything that I teach, it's about being whole now, here, now, knowing you're deserving right now, that there is nothing that can stop you from any of that. So we are on part 2 of the Whole for the Holidays series. Last week, we talked about how to not eat your emotions. Because honestly, it's so easy to do. I just had a friend even message me. She doesn't even have really like food. She's never really struggled with food. She's got a very healthy relationship with food. You know, she could sit and have like 5 burgers and be like, well, I needed 5 burgers. I don't care. You know, like it doesn't faze her. She puts weight on. She's like, that's all right. She takes weight off and she's like, that feels nice too. Like it doesn't define anything about her, which is awesome, right? And she told me that, you know, she's like, messaged me and she's like, girl, I know you talk about this all the time, but I need some help here. I notice I'm eating my emotions. Eating my emotions. She goes, I noticed that I'm emotional eating at night, that I told myself that I'm not going to like have any more wine through the holidays, that like, you know, she was noticing she was having like 1 glass here, 1 glass there. And it was just, she was just like, I don't really want to come home every night and have a glass of wine, right? Like we never want to feel dependent on something, or, you know, you just have that awareness within yourself where she's like, I'm noticing I'm wanting to alleviate something and I'm turning to like wine and I kind of want to like nip that in the bud. And I was like, smart, right? And so she said to me, she goes, I noticed I'm really like emotionally eating at night. She's like, which I never do, but I'm just like bored or like I'm wanting something. So I gave her some guidance, right? And I really said, there's an unmet need, right? Like you're really seeking deeper connection. You're seeking some sort of instant gratification, something to alleviate you from the experience that you're having in that moment. So instead of going for the short-term gratification, we want to go for the long-term gain, right? That's actually going to bring you the joy and keep you from pain. We want to go for the long-term gain that's going to bring you the joy and keep you from pain. The pain of the instant gratification that's going to wear off in 30 seconds after you put it in your mouth. And then you're going to go, why did I just do that? Right? Or the 30 seconds that turns into 30 minutes, that turns into 2 hours of eating. And then you're going, why did I just do that? That's everything I said I didn't want to do, right? So last week, that's what we really talked about. You have the replay in your inbox. If you signed up for this, you guys have it. Few housekeeping things that I'm also going to go to. If you have not received the 14 days of tips that I expressed to you would be a part of the bonus of Hope for the Holidays, they have all been delivered to everybody that signed up. Please check your spam. Please check your spam, your junk, your trash. I can't help our emails going there. It really depends on your email provider. My entire team, we went through all the hundreds and hundreds of people that have registered, and every person has it in their inbox. So it is there. You just have to check your trash or your spam. If you're still having an issue, please email support@melissakathryn.com. My tech team will get back to you. We have people to do all the things. I am not a tech person, so I will not be one of those people, but they will. and they're awesome, and they're right on top of it. You'll hear from them within 24 hours. The other thing that I wanted to tell you is those 14 days of tips, the replay email is in your inbox as well. If you registered, you have the replay. You will also get a replay after this. Now, I also have something else for you. Stay on to the end, because if you are one of the people that is here right now, then you have an opportunity for a gift from me, and is only for the people that are here live. So if you want it, it could be yours. So I do want to tell you that. Now, let's get back, because last week we talked about how to not eat your emotions, how to not overeat to enjoy the holiday season and not put on weight. So again, if you missed that, you have the replay, and go back and make sure to watch it, and you'll receive it again. Now, today, what are we talking about? Gosh, excited? I'm so excited. I'm going to tell you what we're talking about, because I have all the things planned. We are going to be talking about, I have to go back to my notes because I have so many things going in my head. Are you ready? So like I said, last week was eat and enjoy without overeating, food guilt, or weight gain, diet free. In that training, we went through a guided meditation. We talked about knowing your worth, how to not overeat, how to be with food, not focused on the food for fulfillment, and how to know what your body needs, what your emotions, and lastly, what your emotions want you to know, right? Really decoding that. In today's training, so that was last week. In today's training, we're doing how to handle family triggers, food pushers, and stress less for your most joyous holiday season yet. In this training, we are going to decode your emotions and your cravings even more, so you don't eat instead and gain weight. We're keeping it real simple. How to not snap at your family and love them for who they are, most of all yourself, and how to release all stress and embrace peace instead. Okay, we got lots to do. Now, along with that, we are going to go into some other things around really hacking your higher self. So hacking your higher self, accessing your higher self. So I like to kind of give different hacks. If you are new to me and to the way that I teach, I do talk fast. I do bring in angelic guidance in everything that I do. They are aware, they are all here. I receive things. Sometimes I go on tangents from that. I don't always know what I say at those times. I'm just going to be honest. Even my clients are like, repeat that again. I'm like, this is why it's recorded, because I don't know what I just said. I'm not about pushing religion on anybody. I really want you guys to know that. When I speak about angelic guidance, source, universe, I believe God is in everyone and everything. I do have and speak with angels and guides, and I do teach clients and my community, my clients essentially how to do that. Especially after my spiritual awakening a few years ago, I feel very, very blessed. Most of all, what I'm really committed to is helping women to reconnect to themselves, to really reconnect to the truth of who they are before they ever thought they were less than, whether due to a number on the scale, a trauma, or something you've experienced in life, and knowing in that connection everything that your body wants you to know. So your body is a channel for healing. Your body will be able to tell you that medication's good for me, that food's good for me, I'm bloated because of this, I need to stop eating that. I don't care if it's, the #1 food to fight all disease. It might not be right for your body, right? So really, really being such a fine-tuned instrument, it is the most priceless investment that you can have within yourself, to know that you have that. I have saved myself multiple times. And it's one of my favorite things to be able to teach my clients. And this is how my clients are able to get off of depression medication, anxiety medication, so many things. Again, I don't say to do that. I'm not a doctor. They end up experiencing the guidance for themselves to do that. And then that's what they have. And this is, women that have been on medications for life, for most of their lives. It's really, really beautiful. And so those are amazing things that can come from this. So today what we're going to be doing is we're going to dive in. Again, everything with the holiday series. So any questions that you guys have, post them in the chat. I will be answering questions at the end. Just put them in the chat. I am going to ask you guys to engage as well, because I want you to get as much from this as possible. So I am Melissa Kathryn, as you know. I am a wellness expert, specializing in emotional eating, disordered eating, really more of a transformational coach, I would say. I combine everything from my background in emotional mastery, mindset mastery, the psychology of eating and self-sabotage with being a hypnotherapist, and body intuitive, international bestselling author and speaker, life coach, bringing all of this in with, and I'm a nutritionist and have a background in fitness from being a fitness competitor and also trainer. So I combine everything that I do. I believe our approach and everything in life needs to be looked at holistically, because we're never just putting food into our mouths just because we want to. It's usually due to stress, the way we're living our lives, the lack of exercise, too much exercise, sleep, sex, intimacy, spirituality, all of these things. And when we look at our lives and we start to see where we're deficient, that's exactly where we start turning to food and filling our life with these voids and things and sitting there. And then we fixate on one thing. We generally fixate on our exterior. We fixate on what we think we can change. If you follow me, then you most likely are a perfectionist, controller, type A personality. And I say that with so much love, girl. You know, I see you, you know what I mean? You like this. And it's truly because, I mean, if you've been a dieter, then you're obsessed with control. If you have been somebody that's generally a high achiever, type A, you put a lot of pressure on yourself. That perfectionist mentality is a very isolated way of being, as is dieting, as is being a type A. It's, I need to do everything. Nobody else can do it as good as me. All the pressure's on me. I have to do it all. And then I'm going to isolate. And then, you know, when no one's looking, I'm going to turn to food, or I'm going to turn to these other things. And the person that's most hard on you is you. And the person that judges you the most is you. And the person that's most critical is you. And the person that you are really truly seeking acceptance, approval, and love from is you. So often we are conditioned to think that it's something else, that if we just get the job, if we just get the money, if we just get the body, if we're just nicer, if we're just take more time, if we just, you know, get the job, like I said, all of these things outside of us, then we can prove that we're worthy and deserving. And then everybody will see how amazing we are. And then everybody, the truth is, you need to see how amazing you are. So in this Whole for the Holidays series, it's about coming back to wholeness for yourself and learning the skill sets and the ways of being that are going to support you in getting there, along with tactical things. I'm a very results-oriented coach and teacher and guide. So we've got to apply actual tactical things, right? Things that you can do that are going to give you the external results, along with the internal work that's going to give you the long-term gains, right? Does that make sense? It's really, really important to pair all these things up. We can't just come at something from one direction. So we're just going to dive right in, because we want to have some fun here. First and foremost, nothing is outside of you. Nothing, 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 nothing. So last week, what we went through was setting an intention for the holidays. We also got clear on our connection with food and our food story. What is our holiday stories? What are we telling ourselves around food? We also rewrote stories and beliefs around how we can be through the holidays and how we experience the holidays. We also talked about plating it, portioning it, and putting it away. Not just sitting there around food and making the primary focus food, but actually making it about you, right? And making it about enjoying the festivities, the fun, the people, versus making it all about what I can eat, what I can't eat, that I'm going to go in with the dieter's mentality, which is very much, oh my God, you know, I ended up having that slice of cake. Well, I might as well just call it a day, or it's Christmas, or whatever you celebrate, right? And so it only comes one time a year, so I'm going to eat whatever I want and I'll deal with the consequences later. That's your ego. That is not your highest self. Your highest self is not sitting there saying, gorge until you feel sick. Your highest self is not sitting there saying, yeah, let go of all of your goals. Your highest self is saying, stay connected to me. We want to stay light. Your highest self wants to be in connection with you. So when I'm working with people and they say, how do I access my highest self? What is that? The number one way to shut down your highest self is through numbing agents. What is that? A numbing agent is eating too much. When you are bogged down with food, right? We're meant to actually eat. Your stomach's the size of a fist. We're meant to eat to have energy. Our energy is supposed to give us enough energy to then go and do the next thing, okay? We're not supposed to feel tired. We're not supposed to eat until we want to go to bed, or eat to the point where we don't want to get off the sofa, or eat to the point where we're just like, I don't care. I'm just gonna, do you like my, I don't care. I'm just gonna Netflix myself, and I'm not gonna go anywhere, right? Like, that's what happens. And when you see that, did you ever notice that the lethargy ends up creating a negative spiral where then you beat yourself up, make yourself wrong, right? So right there in that position, when that happens, we are out of divine connection within ourselves. We are no longer connected to our highest self, right? Whenever I receive angelic guidance, it's like they need to clean up their diet, right? Because in order to actually receive your highest intuitive guidance, it's not when you're laden with sugar, chemicals, additives, and bogged down. It's when you can actually be a clear channel to yourself, right? Divine connection's connection to you. It's being so connected to you. Again, when we have been in a self-deprecating experience with ourselves, when we haven't fully loved ourselves, whether, you know, it's, I don't care if you have weight to lose or no weight to lose, if you're in a negative relationship with yourself where you're always condemning yourself, turning on yourself, saying that you're not doing enough, that you always need to be doing more, and you're judging yourself, then what happens is you are out of divine connection. The easiest way, and people always say to me, well, what does that feel like? I don't understand. How do you know the difference? It's really, really simple. If you're telling yourself things that feel bad, you are out of alignment. If you feel bad in general, you are out of alignment. You are not in connection with your highest self. And the way that you are operating, the beliefs, the things that you're telling yourself, the way that you are showing up that day is not your highest self. So especially going into for the holidays and going back and seeing family, we want to be in connection with us, right? We actually want to get into a good vibration and vibrational alignment. Now, I did touch on this last week when Maureen had asked the question, like, how do I get back into alignment? I said, you get back into alignment by thinking of something that brings you the closest experience with joy in that moment that's going to align you with where you want to be. So if you want more money, go back to a time when you felt very abundant, financially prosperous. If you're wanting to feel loved, go back to a time when you felt loved. If you want to feel worthy, go back to a time when you felt worthy. If you want to feel beautiful, go back to a time when you felt beautiful. If you want to feel confident, if you want to feel anything, right? We have to go back to a memory. It doesn't matter, right? But we want to go back to something that actually brings a smile to our face and brings us in an immersion of who we want to be and what we actually want to experience. Because I want to remind you, ladies, you are vibrational and energetic beings. We are all here having a human experience, and it is beautiful and it is lovely. And you might be sitting here going, wait a minute, I thought I came to Whole for the holidays because I want some diet tips. Stick with me here. Okay, because all of this matters. This matters more than any diet or tip or anything that you can try. All of that is you can YouTube that stuff. What we actually want to go to here is on the deeper level of what's actually happening and how you can access the joy in this very moment and take you through the holidays and keep you in that divine connection. So everything you choose to put in your body, everything you ingest, everything you think, everything you feel is of the highest good that's going to keep you in this vibrational path where your family's like, whoa, where'd she come from? Like, oh my God, everything's rolling off her back. Why? You seem different. You look different. Why are you so happy? Why are you so light? You seem so free flowing. You used to be very uptight. You used to always be on edge. Yeah, because we're going to center in. We're going to get grounded so that you're not triggered by everything that's happening to you. We're only triggered by everything happening to us when we are in a heightened state of judgment. I'm going to say it again because I need you to hear it. We're only triggered by everything around us. When we feel like we want to snap, when we're super stressed out, you are not in alignment with, oh, everything's working for me. Miracles are all around, right? You're not sitting there. No, you're like, oh my God, I have so much stuff to do. Nobody can do, blah, 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 blah. It's like exhausting. Like, I mean, I'm exhausted just saying it. My body's like, stop, you're tensing me, right? So what do we want to do? We want to come back into alignment. So we get back into alignment by thinking good feeling thoughts. We want to get back into the feeling of what it's like. What does it feel like if everybody complimented you when you went home? What would it feel like if this was your best holiday ever? And are you already preempting it to be that? Are you saying right now, like, oh my God, I just had the best holiday ever. I felt so loved. I felt so lit up. I felt so supported. I took care of myself. Oh my gosh. Are you reading that from last week? Are you literally living into the story and the picture of what you are doing? Are you doing that with yourself daily, right? Last week, we really talked about the power of intention. So we want to bring all of this in. We don't get triggered by family. We only get triggered when we are already on the defensive, when we're assuming and we're bringing, here's the second point, when we're bringing the past into the present. Another way that we get out of connection with our highest self and with a miracle state, right? The holidays are all about miracles. That's why I'm like a Christmas junkie. I know not everybody celebrates Christmas, but I do. And I'm a junkie. I love it. I love the white lights. I like all the things. I could watch Hallmark and Lifetime movies forever. Yes, they all have the same plot. Yes, the acting is not stellar. Yes, I don't know how many random towns exist where these little things happen, but I like the thought of it. Why? Because it's happy, it's joyous, it's filled with miracles, it's filled with love. No one's upset, no one's sad. It gets me out of like all of this and the world is doomed, right? Like there's all of these things. Oh, my whole screen lined. Isn't that nice? So it's like this beautiful thing. Why wouldn't I want to live in that world? Why don't I want to live in a world where there's lights up everywhere and holiday music and people seem happier and I get to give gifts to everybody and, you know, you're just like walking around. Well, it was like who doesn't want to believe in Santa Claus? Like he's like a giant, jolly, fat man that comes down or comes into your home in whatever way with presents for you and only wants cookies in return. I mean, I'll take him. He could be my husband. Just saying. Okay, so this is what I mean is like the holidays are all about miracles. And I think it's such a beautiful reminder, but the truth is every day is all about miracles. I say one of my affirmations is like, I am a miracle and miracles happen to me all the time. I expect the exact words. I expect only miracles. I expect only miracles. Everything is always working out for me. People constantly ask me how I am so positive, so happy, how I get so much done in such a short period of time. I was told by 2 people that I should have been in the hospital given the state of my immunity. And I mean, there were so many things that were just said to me. And it's like your faith and your connection to yourself is why you're able to like be here right now. I mean, I was said that I can't even tell you. So guys, it's so true. Like this works. It is the most powerful thing that you can do when you can rewrite your stories, your mind, you create a whole new experience. It will be absolutely magical and epic for you to go home and experience your family from a place of all I need to do is make sure that I'm happy. My only job is to take care of me. My only job is to make sure that I feel good, that I'm in alignment. I'm not saying don't be there for your children. I'm not saying don't be there for anybody else. But what I am saying is that it's a thing that's changed things for my clients the most when they're like, I am not responsible for my husband's happiness. I am not responsible to make sure that my children, that my parents, that my uncles, that my aunts, that my cousins, that anybody else, I just need to show up, be the best me, right? And just be happy on my terms, you know, and take care of me and not make my desires, my needs, the bottom of my list. Of my list, right? It's something that I teach called keeping your side of the street clean. And what that means is actually being in a space of, before I point the finger at anybody else, did I show up 1,000% in alignment with me? Am I to blame for any of this? Did I speak my truth? You know, was I fair to that person? Was I honest? You know, and before you point the finger and just react, check in. You know, is there any part of me that's here to blame right now? And then let me take a deep breath and let me get clear on how I'm showing up in this situation. Because often what we see with family triggers is, one, we bring the past into the present. So how many of you actually have prejudged what you're going to experience this season based off of what you've experienced in previous ones, in terms of your weight, your health, your experience with your family, specific people, right? I know when I did this exercise, I just sit and I was like, oh, that's so interesting. I'm bringing my past experience of these specific people and the challenges that I've had with them, and they are already running a subconscious story that I'm going to experience that again. And I already noticed that I was already on the defensive within myself of how was I going to handle that this time? When in reality, who says there's going to be a this time? Who says that they're going to do that again, or that I'm even the same person that had that experience, right? We're all different than we were a year ago. We're all different than we were yesterday, even an hour ago. We've all experienced something that we never experienced before. We're all here now, right? In this moment, not before, right? So where are you bringing the past into the present that's creating your future? Where are you already going, oh my God, my parents are such a challenge. My this, my that, this person, this aunt drives me crazy. I always get asked this, right? Like I remember when I was single and I would sit there and I'd be like, great, I'm going to go home and it's going to be, oh, she's single. Oh, she's this. Who says? Who said that I was going to experience that? I was already making it happen. So my nervous system was already like, and I was just waiting. So somebody would be like, oh, you know, dating anybody? And I'd be like, why do I have to be dating somebody? Like, why aren't I enough exactly as I am? Why aren't I, like, I was like on like attack mode. Like, I was like, what? I'm so sad. Like, no, like, calm down, Melissa, right? Like, I'd be like, oh, they're just making conversation. I'm sensitive about it. I'm judging me. I'm making myself wrong for not having somebody right now, right? Like, this has nothing to do with anybody else. Where are you doing that with your weight? You know, oh, are you like sitting there like, oh, my family's already going to notice that I've gained weight since last year, or that I didn't lose the weight, or that I put on weight since Thanksgiving, or whatever. Like, who says? Who says? And when we already preempt things that way, we are in such a reactive, judgmental space that we are waiting to jump down someone's head. We are so sensitive. And then we do have an emotional response. Do you guys have anybody, as I'm saying this, are you relating? Is there anybody that you're thinking of or current experiences? Put it in the chat and share. Let me know what's speaking to you about this. And if this is related, if this is resonating with you. Okay. Now, the next thing that I was going to say is when we really live bringing the past into the present, we do the same thing with our patterns, our beliefs, and our routines around food and everything that we're doing, right? And so it's really, really important that you sit there and start to get clear on, this is why we did this in the very beginning of this series. What do I want to experience? What do I want this holiday to be for me? How do I want to experience it, right? Really, really important, because if you're not clear on that, then you are going to repeat years past. And those triggers are going to come up. Now, the other thing that happens with family triggers is we can start off strong. You can take into account these things. And then you can be like, I did so great for 1 or 2 days. And then X, Y, and Z happened, right? And then, I don't know, I lost sight. I ended up having some cookies and it turned into a binge. And then this happened. Or then I ended up fighting with this person, or, you know, blah, 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 blah. Do you have anything like that? Because when we're in that space, again, we really want to clear the past with the past and recognize that it is this present moment in time that we have control over. And this is what's going to support you, right? So when we're coming into that alignment, it's really, really important. So going into decoding your emotions and your cravings so you don't eat instead and essentially gain weight. So when we're looking at our emotions and your cravings, it's really important to understand that your cravings are nothing more than signs. They are telling you of where you are deficient in life. What are you needing? Are you needing more connection? Are you needing to express yourself? Are you needing more fun? Are you needing to feel free? Are you needing hugs? Are you needing to get more sleep, right? Our cravings end up showing up in our desires for certain foods, right? And understanding the emotional deficiencies, okay? So what are some cravings that you guys have experienced? What are some things that you know that you've had? For instance, one of the things that I really teach is the difference between head cravings and heart cravings. And that head cravings really come from a lack of control. When we don't feel in control, and the way that it shows up is we procrastinate, we get overwhelmed, we feel anxious, we stress eat. We generally want things that are crunchy, like granola, nuts, popcorn, cereal, trail mix. They are all of these things that we're desiring, when in reality, what we actually need to do is remind ourselves that we're in control, that there's nothing outside of us, that everything can happen in due time, that we really want to remind ourselves, make a plan, create a plan, take an action step. That's how we can get out of that head craving, right? So again, that shows up in what types of emotions. A head craving, right? It shows up in what types of emotions: overwhelm, anxiety, stress, procrastination, fear, feeling out of control. So what foods do we want? Crunchy things: pretzels, nuts, trail mix, cereal, popcorn, anything that you can crunch on, even crudité, okay? Now, on the flip side, we've got a heart craving. A heart craving comes from a lack of fulfillment. It's not fully stepping into your power, not feeling fulfilled in your relationships, not feeling fulfilled in your purpose or your passions, not feeling fulfilled in your career or spiritually, not being spiritually fed. So what happens with that, right? What do we desire? Well, we desire ice cream. We desire chocolate. We desire decadence, gooey, comfort foods, things that are, things that really feel, they're more dense, can be cakes, pastries. You know, it's something that, like there's a decadence element. And again, it's that lack of fulfillment, and it's often we're desiring to feel weighed down, right? Fulfillment. So it's like, oh, wow, I'm really not fulfilled. So I want to feel weighed down. I want that feeling to go away, because it's hard for our minds and our bodies to make sense of the fact that there's this aching hollowness within us that's just going, fill this void, when in reality, the lack of fulfillment within you is your soul crying out. And it's saying, step into your power. You came to this earth and chose this body and this life and this divine assignment to be seen. It's not to sit on your sofa and eat. It's not to hide. It's not to obsess around your weight. It's not to calorie count. It's not to go from diet to diet to diet. It's not to make yourself wrong. It's not to keep denying yourself your joys and your innate worthiness in life. It's actually to embrace it. The one thing that I always receive whenever I receive in divine guidance, which is all the time, is, we make life really hard. The exact words are, why do you all insist on struggling? Why do you make everything so complicated? That's why ever since I stepped into being a coach, a guide, a healer, but when I say healer, I really want you to get, I'm not saying that I am it is the divine working through me. Okay, so it's the divine doing. Okay, so I really want to say here that the messages are constant, and it's simplify. Everything that I teach since I was told to do this work is teach simple. That makes sense. Make it simple. Everything is, all of the women that follow you overcomplicate everything. It is very, very simple. And we're going to show you how. And that was the method that I received and then put into a program that I teach, my Weight Loss for Life program, right? And that's helped thousands of women around the world to experience full food freedom, to find, their connection within themselves and release weight and keep it off and continue on that trajectory. Most of all, love themselves, repair their marriages, be happier and more lit up than ever, and then actually turning around, becoming coaches themselves, starting their own epic lives, and being bold in who they are. It's the program. Oh my God, brings me so much joy to think of these women and to have supported them. So I say this because the message that I always, always, always receive is simplify, that we make everything really complicated in this plane as humans. We overcomplicate. As women, we are crazy overcomplicating it. If you've been a dieter, you've done so much dieting that you actually don't know how to make things simple, because your mind can't even conceive of it anymore, because you've tried so many for so long that it feels it's too far and it's too easy, right? Like often that's when my clients tell me, they're like, oh my God, it's so simple and it works, but I like didn't trust it at first, right? So I say this, keep it simple. The other message is you're not meant to struggle ever. None of you. This was never meant to be hard. Your life was never meant to be hard. Everything is a gift, even the challenges. What if you looked at every challenge as something that's transcending you to something more beautiful that you didn't even know was available to you? What if every rejection is redirection to something greater? What if every heartache is something to bring you to the deepest level of love that you didn't even know you could experience? What if you losing all your money was so you could gain it back and even more? What if we looked at everything in life as completely supporting us? Because it is. And what if we look at life as magic and that we're all here right now, right? I know, hold on, you know what, something's, I'm seeing that this is getting delayed, and let me close. I think something's downloading, hold on. There we go, okay. So I really want you guys to get, what if everything in life is always here to support you towards your highest good constantly? There is nothing that isn't meant to do that for you. Nothing, right? So what if that's the case? So wouldn't that, so just really understand this. Every time you are thinking thoughts that make you feel bad, then you are out of alignment. Every time you are eating in a way that makes you feel bad, you are out of alignment. This is why I tell my clients, don't eat standing up. Honor your body and honor what you're feeding it and nourishing it, and give it your undivided attention. No, don't eat mindlessly. Don't just have bags of endless volume. Your stomach's this big. Start to be in alignment with what you actually need to nourish yourself so that you can be a clear channel for the things that you want to create. You're all receiving, your prayers are all being answered all the time. Are you trusting the guidance you're receiving? Your prayers are all being answered all the time, all the time. I guarantee if you're here right now, you asked for support with this very thing. You might not have even understood that it was going to come out in the way that it's coming out of my mouth. And all of that guidance, we are all aligned to be earth angels for one another, to share what we actually need to hear, right? I was just saying this to one of my clients, and he was just like, oh my God, Melissa, we've been working on like so many different things with him, and he just fell in love with the love of his life. And which I was so happy about, because that's something we've been working on. And I'm saying this like, because I'm so happy for him. I don't even know what to say, I'm so happy. And we got him the body, we got him the confidence, but most of all, we got him in alignment with his worth. And so everything's just been flowing in this epic way, you know, and he's just like, oh my God. And, you know, we were talking about this, and I was like, the only thing, because he's like, sometimes that negative and blah, blah, and I was like, that is a story. And you keep repeating it. Keep repeating that that there's an ounce in him that used to always, not now, but used to always just go, I'm not worthy, I'm not worthy. And then I struggle with worthiness, and I struggle with this weight, and I struggle. And I was like, if you keep saying it, you will continue to experience it. And you keep asking for all of this guidance that you want to hear things differently. He was receiving endless compliments from his team at work. They were telling him what a difference he's made in their lives, like what a great boss he's been, what a blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, do you realize that those are all angels that are here to actually tell you in physical form, because you're not listening, that is you. You are deserving of that, right? Just like when I went to this healer, he's like, you are a miracle. Do you know that? And I was like, I do. And he's like, I know, that's why you got called on for this healing. And I was like, yes, it is. I knew I came in here and I was like, I am a miracle. I will be called on today. Right. And I was like, and I will see my family at Christmas and I will feel better. Like, cause this is not how I roll. And I was like, nothing is outside of me and divine consciousness is available to me. So I don't need that. Like it's what I believe, but I believed so deeply. In order to actually be in the space of worthiness and to manifest and be in that space of what am I worthy of? What can I call in? And I know you might be going, okay, we're going to tie all of this in. You will see all of this comes back to your worthiness of what you're deserving of and actually recognizing that you are a miracle. Magic surrounds you always, especially at the holidays. And there is nothing that you're not meant to experience. So if you want to lose weight through the holidays, by all means, girls, start saying it. Your words create your reality. Your words are your wand, as Florence Levelshin says in The Game of Life and How to Play It. Skovelshin, I always say it wrong. Fabulous little red book that I love. It's her complete works. Everybody go get it. I love it. And it's so important for you to recognize that when we're looking at, where did this go? Where are my notes? Hold on, lady loves. Okay, so when we were looking at decoding our emotions and our cravings, really understand that if there is a fulfillment that is lacking within you, if you were listening to that and you were like, yes, Melissa, I don't feel fulfilled in my work. I don't feel fulfilled in my marriage right now. I don't feel fulfilled in myself. You might be overwhelmed and you might be like, God, that's a lot to change. No, what I want you to get and really understand is all of that can change on a dime when you start to feel worthy and deserving of the things that you are wanting to change and give them your attention. Turn your focus off of what's wrong with you, needing to be fixed, and it all being about the weight or whatever you're putting emphasis on, and place your focus on words like, I'm already healed. I have my dream job. The body I've always wanted is mine and it's here to stay, right? I just had the best holiday ever with my family. It was amazing, so fun. In fact, I'd want to do it all again, right? Like start bringing into your awareness and your consciousness the exact thing that you want to be experiencing now. That's what will make the biggest difference for you. So now we already talked about, I kind of went in reverse. I already addressed how to not snap at your family and love them for who they are, right? That was keeping your side of the street clean. That's making sure, notice that if you're already on the attack, that's you judging you, okay? And also, how do we not snap at our family? We stop bringing the past into the present. Just think about it. Do you always want somebody to hold it against you that you maybe were a bitch once? Or that you weren't your best self, or you snapped at them once, or they saw you when you weren't in your best light. Excuse my language with the bitch, but you know what I'm saying? Like nobody wants that at all. You're always like, I really hope that they can like just forget that I once did that and can just meet me now where I am now. Just like your partners, nobody wants to have you bring like, 5 years ago, you said this to me and I'm still angry with you about it. That energy, right? As women, we do that all the time. We don't use our voice and then we bring it to our partners and they don't even know what they did. And they think it's because they didn't take the trash out when in reality, you're like, you didn't listen to me then and you don't listen to me now. And they're just like, is this really about the trash? No, it was never about the trash. It's about the fact that you didn't actually tell them 5 years ago what upset you, or 4 years ago, and 3 years ago, and 2 years ago. And now them not taking out the trash is an explosion and you're so frustrated and then you can't give voice to it. That's not fair, right? It's not fair. So it's actually, how about we just recognize everyone is doing the best that they can and give them the grace that you wish someone would give you when you aren't at your best. Because the bottom line is, we, as Brene Brown says, right? I don't know if you guys, I love me some Brene Brown, little BB. In, I think it was Rising Strong. I think it was Rising Strong. And she just said, you know, do you really think everybody's doing the best you can? Because she was having like a meltdown. I was like really upset with, I love, she's just so real. She said she was judging somebody. It doesn't even matter. The point is, she was going on and was just like, do you actually think that everyone's doing the best they can? And then she ended up interviewing all these people. And then of course it became a part of Rising Strong. And at the end of it, it is. And I believe that firmly and always have. I didn't always operate that way, like at all. That's why I'm teaching this to you. and I had to learn it. And I always have to remind myself, I mean, just today I was sitting there and, you know, this is like, I mean, like I said, I've been sick since November 30th. I mean, I went from a 5-day horrific stomach flu, turned into a head flu, turned into an ear infection. I don't take medication ever. They put me on 3 rounds of antibiotics. None of them worked. And my head felt like I had a pressure thing like this. I'm very blessed. I'm able to turn myself on very well in front of the camera. So I was able to do last week, but I mean, I got off our wholeness, you know, class, and I just laid down and closed my eyes. And I was like, thank you, God, for supporting me through that hour and giving me the words that everybody needed to hear, because I had nothing in me. Like my tank, my resource was like meat. And I say this because like just earlier today, you know, I've had like 1 day of feeling good. My business, we close on or I take vacation starting on Friday will be my last day, right? And I take off to be with my family, and really I take off. I disconnect completely. And I was just sitting there and I was like, I have honestly like 3 weeks of work to do in the next like 4 days. My point with this is I was coming back to meet somebody for a meeting and they didn't answer me, and I asked if we could push it, and I was on a roll and I was writing all this content, and all of a sudden, and I had to just remind myself, I'm like, okay, they didn't see it. They're doing the best they can, because I saw where I was getting really frustrated. I was like, I just need to write my stuff. I need to blah, blah, blah. And I was like, take a deep breath, Melissa, put into practice everything that you're teaching. They're doing the best that you can. And hun, give yourself a lot of compassion. You're doing the best that you can. Like what you just endured in the past 3 weeks, most people would have like not even, they would have canceled this, you know, like you're good. And so I don't want you guys to think that, you know, we're all human and doing the best that we can. And these things work. Like my clients can attest, anything I teach, I live by and do myself, and it works. It will forever change the way that you experience life, the way that you show up, and the way people perceive you. And most of all, you are going to be a manifesting magnet for all the things that you want in your life, and immense ease and grace and flow can come to you with weight loss, with all the things. But it has to start in these fundamentals of what I'm showing you guys here, right? So really, really recognizing that, loving up and knowing that everyone is doing the best that they can, including you. Give them grace that you would want for yourself. Check in, make sure your side of the street is clean. I just want to close the loop on our second point. Make sure your side of the street is clean. Always check in and go, where was I at fault before I point the finger? Take a deep breath before we react and respond. Give everyone the gift of meeting them in the present and letting go of any past experience with them. The last piece that I'm going to say on this that's very, very important is, what expectations have you placed on specific family members, and what expectations have you placed on yourself for how you're supposed to show up, how you're supposed to take care of yourself, and the expectations that you have on specific people in your life? Because that is another way that I will say, without a shadow of a doubt, you will be let down. Expectations are the number one killer of I'm just going to say, they're the number one joy stealer. I use joy stealers in our programs, and we like address what joy stealers are. And one of the main is always expectations, because so often you don't realize how many expectations you've already preset and haven't realized until they're not met. And then you're left deflated and you don't even know why you're so sad, frustrated, or just feeling disappointed. Especially the expectations that you have in yourself. So if you're sitting there thinking and expecting that you're going to keep everything together and that you're not going to spaz out on anybody, that you're going to eat perfectly, that every day you're going to like that's not really giving yourself love and compassion, right? So really, what are the expectations? I would honestly take time to journal about that and the expectations that you have. I would do a free journaling exercise. So something that I do is it's in the morning, I will just write for 12 minutes. and I will allow myself a free-flowing stream of consciousness and to get everything out. And sometimes I go to the table with specific things I want to journal on. One thing that I would do tomorrow is just, what are my expectations of myself? What are my expectations of my family? What am I already worried about happening that it's time that I need to release before I'm there? And that can be friends, that can be anybody. And it doesn't matter how you experience, or even, you know, strangers. What's my expectation of strangers? What's my expectation of the holidays, right? Release all of it. Get clear. You will be amazed on how many things your mind's going to tell you it was expecting. From food to smiles, to people opening your gifts, to the way that you're going to look, to things fitting you a certain way, to gifts you're going to receive, to gifts you're going to give, to food you're going to have, to festivities, to travel plans, to people coming to you, to thank yous, to receiving housewarmings, to, you know, like I see it, I hear these things all the time, like this person came and stayed with us, they didn't even say thank you, this person showed up late, it was so rude. Release it all and recognize your soul goal is to be of joy and find joy within yourself and give yourself that gift. The rest will fall into place. That is your only job. You do not need to control anybody else. You are not responsible for anyone else's happiness. In step one, we talked about decoding your emotions and your cravings. We talked about the difference between head cravings and heart cravings and what to do about it. We also went through our higher self hacks, which I told you that we were going to do. And it was about how to be in vibrational alignment, how to really be intentional, recognizing that you are solely deserving and worthy exactly as you are right now, allowing yourself that gift, recognizing that everyone is an earth angel and has a message for you, and seeing those signs everywhere, repeating to yourself, I expect only miracles and everything is always working out for me today and always. Right? So now how, in our last step here, how do we release stress and embrace peace instead? How do we release stress and embrace peace instead? I'm like a little rhymer. Okay. So the way in which we really do that is I love so much. And let me know if you guys have any questions about anything that I shared here. How do oh. Who is that? I healed myself of seasonal allergies. Stephanie, I love that. Okay. All right. I'm going to come back to that question. If you guys have any questions, make sure to post them now as we're coming up on the end. So guys, how do we release stress, right? How do we actually release stress and make peace instead? I'm going to say this, you know that I'm full of tactical tips. I would honestly do the journaling exercise of dumping. I dump all the time. We don't even realize how often we wake up with angst in our system. When we wake up kind of like, oh my God, like there's all this stuff already going on, especially the holidays, right? Like, I mean, if you're anything like me, like, do you have like 50 other thousand things that you have to do, right? Like even when I get off this, I have like a list of things. Now, granted, I have not been well, so there's a lot that I've had to push off, but I really want to say that to you, right? So in this, how do we alleviate? So one, we actually want to do a mind up. Now, this does not work the same. It does not work the same when you type it out. You must put a pen to paper. It is proven, look it up. It's therapeutic. It is free therapy. If you're sitting there going, I don't know what to write, I never know what to write, whatever you resist is the exact thing that you need to do. So if you felt called to write, if you hear about journaling all the time, it's because it works. When I talk about the simple things, and I said to you, bring it back to basics, right? We're always bringing back, like, I'm all about the simple. Why? Because they make sense. Why am I a breathwork practitioner? Because it makes sense to me. Breath is our life force. It healed in Jesus's day. It can heal today. I don't need to pay for anything external. It is right here for me. I just need to learn how to utilize it for my highest good. And then I can access healing internally for myself, right? I was guided to that. It works. It makes sense. What else works? Meditation. What else works? Water, right? Like, people heal cancer with water fasts. You know what I mean? Like, there's all these things that you go back and you're like, oh, that makes sense. Like, but we try to overcomplicate and chemical. So I love things that are simple. I love things that make sense. I love things that are simple that make sense. I mean, I've just said that about 15 times. So when we want to alleviate stress, to experience peace throughout the holidays, we're going to do steps 1 and step 2 that I taught you tonight. We're also going to do our very first series of Whole for the Holiday series, because all of this combined is going to help you with point 3. And then what you're going to do is you're going to journal and get everything out, because it's actually going to alleviate your central nervous system and stress within the body. And it's going to get you out of that fight or flight that you might wake up with, right? The other thing that it does is it transmutes the negative thinking and mind and puts you into a positive space. Because once we dump all of that out, I want you to think of it like clearing your cache. God, such a good analogy. Thank you. Such a good analogy. It's clearing your cache. It's like unblocking everything so you can just be a clear channel for all good things. So why wouldn't you want to do that in the morning? Don't read over it. Let it all go. We don't want to keep repeating stories that aren't serving us. We don't want to keep, oh my God, another day where hello. We don't want to keep being a victim. We want to be the victor of our lives, not a victim to it, right? So I want you to be the queen that you are, really owning that, okay? So the other thing to this is, I'm just going to say it. Ladies, you have to move your body. We have way too many hormones running through us to think that you're going to operate high and not snap off everybody's head, including your own, and have all of these extra things and our multifaceted, way of multitasking, which we are brilliant at. It's also a lot, right? And, it's important. Moving your body. Go have physical activity for a minimum of 30 minutes, not just a walk, not at a leisurely pace. I mean, actually get your heart rate up. Move your body, get on a mini trampoline. My favorite is my jump sport outside. I said that like you're with me. I'm like, come outside, we'll go jump on it. I jump on my trampoline all the time. So, a mini trampoline, go for a walk, a fast walk, put some hand weights in there. Go for a jog, dance. Jump up and down. There's a multitude of things, but at least get your heart rate up and move your body for 30 minutes minimum a day. I mean, that will regulate your hormones. That will de-stress you. That will get you back in your body. It will get you back into alignment. And then you won't be wanting to bite everybody's head off. It is your time for you. Listen to my podcast, put in affirmations, put in positive music. Make it like, hi, that's your time for you. Like, I never want to give up that time. I will get up at 2 a.m. if I have to get to like move my body. In fact, there's many a times where 4 a.m. was my wake up and then 5 a.m. I unfortunately haven't been able to do anything the past few weeks, but I'm very much looking forward to getting back at it tomorrow. Follow me on Instagram. You'll see me back at it. So I say that it's really, really important. Moving your body is so, so important. The other one to this is breath. All of my controllers, all of my perfectionists, all of my type A, all of my all or nothing mentality, I need to be perfect. When I'm saying perfectionist, I'm not saying that you look perfect, act perfect, blah, blah, blah. It just means you judge everything you do up against the concept of it's never good enough. And perfection is elusive. There's no real definition around it. So you're constantly judging yourself against something that has no parameters, which means you're never going to win. You're never going to be enough. It's never going to be enough for you. So you will always feel disappointed. Your own happiness will always be eluding you until you start to embrace yourself with compassion, love what is, know that you're exactly enough as you are in this very moment, that there is nothing outside of you, that you are absolutely perfect, and you take pause to breathe, connect in with yourself, and remind yourself of the very thing that I'm saying. And if you need to, put this thing on repeat when you get the replay and listen to it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again until it really, really sinks in. Right? So we want to breathe, we want to journal, and we want to move our bodies each day to alleviate that stress and allow for the connection and the clearing that needs to happen to put us into a space of being a clear channel and being fully at peace within ourselves and our bodies, to call in the very manifestations, magic, and miracles that we want to experience this holiday season and beyond. So on that note, I'm going to answer this question. How do you differentiate between hope for an outcome versus an expectation? So hope is really quite desperate, right? Hope has a lot of fear in it. I hope that happens because I don't actually believe that it can. I hope for a miracle because I actually am not in conviction that it's happening. Expectation is when you have a strong conviction. I went in being like, I am a miracle. I will be called on. I just did. I didn't overthink it. I didn't obsess about it. We only overthink things. We only overanalyze. We only obsess. We grasp, right? Because we don't feel in control. We do it when we don't feel supported, when we think that, and that's really just a lack of faith. You don't have faith in something outside of you to support you in this. To think that you're going to go at life alone and win all on your own is a lot of weight to put on your own shoulders, that you need to somehow get you the job, the money, the man, the health, the happiness, the weight loss, the whatever all the things are. That's exhausting and that's a lot and that's not fun. And what's really awesome is knowing like, oh my God, the universe is like fully supporting me. Like all these cool things happening. Like I see angel numbers. I see all of these signs. It's so funny. I asked for a sign last night and I got it. Like these are all things that I teach. Like, it's like, oh my God, you know, I said I wanted, you know, I expect only miracles and I got told I was a miracle today, you know, I'm blah, 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 and I've been wanting this and I see it, and it's being open to the signs and then taking the divine action to support your desires, because we're all receiving divine guidance all the time. But just like the universe is like, I have this with clients all the time. I'm like, the universe answered you. I'm being told that your prayer was answered. You did not trust it. And because you got the guidance and didn't take it, they're trying to give it to you another way, but they're, you know, I'm being told you were told 3 times, you know, like, so we're all receiving guidance. We're all receiving answers. It's the people that actually take the universe response to the action takers, the people that take that immediate fast action. And it's like, oh, okay, I was told to change my flight. I'm going to do that. Like I was guided on Sunday to get off my ass. No, they didn't say get off your ass, but they were like, this event's going to be good. And I was just like, that made no sense. 1, I wasn't looking to spend money on a live event. 2, I wasn't looking to drive to LA when I just actually couldn't get off my sofa the day before, and drive to LA and back in 1 day. And then sit at an event for 4 hours. Like, no, none of that made sense. Yet my body was a yes, and I just trusted it. And because of that, I feel epic, and I'm flying home to see my family for Christmas, right? So we have to trust in the guidance that we receive and not question it. Guidance that we receive doesn't always make sense. That's the magic of it. That's what's so fun. It's like, oh, do you want a miracle or do you want to keep suffering? I'll take a miracle. Okay, cool. Here it is. Do you get what I'm saying? So expectation is, I expect this, right? And so when we're saying hope, it's the same thing when I have people that are like, I just want to lose weight. Why can't I lose weight? I don't understand why I can't lose weight. Stop focusing on it. You actually don't believe that it's going to happen, which is why you're focusing on it so much. And if you keep focusing on it, then you're actually rejecting the very gift of the weight loss that you're asking for. Because your focus on it, you're obsessing, means that you're in fear of it not happening, and your fear is rejecting the very thing that you want. If you are like, I have a client that's like, I want love. And I'm like, yeah, but you are fixating that love is going to solve everything for you, right? And, or, you know, and you're obsessing on not having it. And it's directly linked to your worthiness. Right now, you think that you're unworthy in some way of being a woman, that everyone's judging you, when in reality, what it's telling me is you're judging yourself for not having that man. Right? And you not having that man, you are actually repelling the man, because you're going around going, where's my man? Where's my man? Where's my man? Well, your man could be in front of you, but you can't see him because you are desperately looking for where's my man. Well, what repels anybody? I mean, I get repelled from women that are like, I'm looking for a friend. I'm like, oh my God, I can feel it. Please stay away. Like, yeah, you know? So, right? Like you feel desperation. You feel the, like, I just need it so bad. Right? So you're in complete lack of it. So like my guidance to her with love is like, I was like, what does it feel like when you have him? What are you thinking it's going to bring you when you get that? Same thing with weight loss. Because ladies, I will tell you this. If you think getting the ideal body is going to make you happy, oh girl, sadly mistaken. As somebody that won best body in the International Natural Body Federation in New York City, I am here to tell you, and I gained the weight back in less than 6 months. It does not a happiness person. It does not make someone happy. It does not a happiness person make. What, am I speaking in Shakespearean tongues? Yes, I am. I'm so talented. all my things. So it doesn't. It was me seeking something outside of me. When I get the body, all the things are going to happen. No, nothing happened. And I still had an emotional connection with food because I never got to the root or healed what was actually underlying that was driving me to go to food instead of loving me. That was having me turn to food instead of taking care of me. That was having me turn to food instead of connection in a human. I was turning into a connection with a substance. So emotions with food, right? I was saying this on a docu-series that I'm going to be on around emotional eating, where I was saying with what happens is we turn food into human form and we start to seek out coping from food in human form. All of a sudden it's, well, food loves me back. Well, food never gets mad at me. Well, food is always here with me. I don't need a friend to watch a movie with because I'm going to sit here with my trusty Netflix and all the food, and I can keep getting up and going to the refrigerator. And I don't need to have sex with my partner. Husbands love this one. Like they're always like, I always get messages from husbands of my clients that are like, thank God she worked with you. Like our sex life is better than ever. Well, actually my clients tell me their sex life is better than ever. And then the husbands write me and say, I don't know what you do in your programs, but thank you for giving me my wife back. Thank you. We've never been happier. And it brings me such joy. And then they tell them to stay with me, which is so funny because I'm like, okay. And I will say this, when you disconnect from your partner because you're not happy with you, that creates an even greater divide in your partnership and most of all with yourself. You will never get the love, affection, and attention that you desire and need from your counterpart in food. And the more that you keep that wedge going, the more that it keeps you from the things that you desire, right? So we actually need to go, I know that I don't feel sexy right now, and I know that I put on weight, and I know that I don't necessarily want to be touched, but I also know that I love me and I'm deserving and I'm not of this body, and that this body can change at any time. And that I have to recognize that it will change when I know that I'm deserving and worthy of the change. But if I keep thinking that I am only worthy of shoving food down my mouth and being numbed out, or that I am only worthy of telling myself unkind things, or I'm only worthy of being on a diet, or I'm only worthy of not getting what I want in life, and I'm only worthy of struggle and striving, then you will continue to experience that. That's why this whole For the Holiday series is so important and so important in my heart. And that's why I didn't want to cancel it, because these are the things that we need to hear, right? We're all in this together, ladies. We're all in this together, and we're here to rise each other up. You know, none of us are at this alone. So really recognize when you're in that space of fear and hope, and check in with yourself and go, where do I not believe that this is possible for me? Where do I think that I'm not deserving? And there will be your ego will go, I feel like I'm deserving. No, I do love me. Like I used to sit there and be like, I do love me. I'm just a dieter. No, I was a chronic dieter that insisted that if I looked a certain way, I would finally get the approval and acceptance that I desired from family, and that I would be seen finally from my man, that I would, once I got that, I would finally have the confidence that I always needed to be bold in my business and to really show up big. No, it didn't change any of that. What gave me confidence was me starting to go, wait, I'm a freaking badass. I don't care if I weigh 300 pounds or 100 pounds. I'm a badass, right? Like I'm amazing, and everybody deserves to hear the message. And the message was given to me because they're meant to hear it. We're all on this earth to share our story. We're all on this earth to share our power. We're all on this earth to be loved and experience love and experience a joy greater than you could ever fathom. It's to actually fulfill our soul's purpose. That's what's actually so beautiful about being a human. So many people are like, oh, I want to connect in with the higher realms. I want to be in the spirit world. I'm like, this is where the fun is. Yeah. Do we have a lot of hard things that happen on as humans? Yeah. There's there hardships. Yes. Are there challenges? Yeah. But that contrast is what allows you to know how good it feels on the other side. That contrast is what allows you to know what love feels like. If you never knew what heartbreak was, how would you know how good it feels to love? If you never knew what loss was, how would you know how great it is to have what's in front of you? If you never to appreciate life, right? I bless cancer, because I've never appreciated just health. I mean, so much. And to recognize that I get to take care of me on such a deep and profound level, that I am like, you know, that divine conduit that we all are. You know, I know I'm different, guys. You know, I teach this because we can all be that channel. So I really, really hope that you hear this. Okay. Jen, framing that from like a negative expectation of a reaction of someone's behavior at a gathering versus hope for the best outcome. How can we best walk into these events? Hopeful, expecting, just open. You walk into the events just like we talked about. You walk into, wait, did you get the answer? I hope you got the answer, but I'll say it again. You walk into these events keeping your side of the street clean. You walk into these events going, I'm going to show up happy and take care of me. I have no expectations of other people. My expectation is I'm having a good time right here in my divine consciousness. I'm having a good time because I say I'm having a good time. I'm good. And when I decide to leave, I get to leave. I'm going to speak my truth. I'm going to be me. I'm going to honor myself. I'm going to be in that. And so stating a desire, right, is putting your desire, your manifestation into flow, right? How the universe doesn't hear you, okay, so this is what it is. I'm going to state my desire and watch it show up. You don't need to state your desire 50 times. You can just go, I expect only miracles. Everything's always working out for me. And if you're in a bind where you're like, you know, you get to the airport and they're like, I'm sorry, your flight's delayed 10 hours, or you got bumped, you know, just be like, everything's always working out for me, and say it as much as you can up until things change, right? But that's also it's releasing yourself of being attached to an outcome, right? So that's really important. So an expectation, right? So when we're looking at, this is really great. So I'm glad that you asked for this clarification. Hope, right, has lack energy in it. Hope has a desperation. Hope has I'm not fully trusting, but I hope so, right? Expecting is, I have conviction around this, like it is going to happen. And I know it's going to happen because I deserve only miracles. Next, right? Putting expectations on an experience is sitting there, right? Like when I asked you to write your story for what you want the holidays to be, you write it out and then you go, I want this or something greater. And I let it go. I let it go. And whatever transpires is what's meant to be. That's when we're actually going, I'm releasing control. So much of manifestation, being in your worth, is not about control, ladies. We think it is, right? Like, we're like, no, if I control it, but it's not going to happen unless I control it, right? Like, I'm not going to lose the weight until I control it. It's like, has that worked? Did your diets work? I don't think so. They didn't work for me either. They worked the first time we did it before our mind caught on. And then the next one we failed. And then the next one we had to work harder. And then we had to try a different approach. And then we had to trick our minds for a certain period of time. And then, right? And then it stopped working, right? So control has never worked. We actually have to state the desire and let go of the control. Now, Veronica said, Melissa, when you accidentally say something negative to yourself in the moment, what you do to undo it? Great question. And bring yourself back to loving yourself. Very simple. Cancel, clear, delete. Cancel, clear, delete. And then you state the positive desire. You know, I just always mess everything up. Cancel, clear, delete that. I am perfect and everything's in divine timing. God, I'm afraid that, that launch didn't work. Everything I create everything I create turns to gold. Money flows to me easily and effortlessly. I can't believe I just gained all that weight. Like, I'm so mad at myself for just eating that. I love myself and I have so much compassion for myself and my body. There is nothing outside of me and everything in me. Food does not define me, nor does anything that I put in my mouth. Food is just food. My weight stabilizes, right? Or my weight, if you want to say like around weight loss, you just put into. So really recognize in Weight Loss for Life, I talk about the energies of food. And I talk about how much emphasis and often we actually bring into existence the very thing that we don't want because we obsess about it. So many dieters sit there and they're like, I overeat, it's gonna make me fat, oh my God, and then the next day they're like, weigh themselves right away, and then they're like, it's gonna happen, I know it always comes on. They obsess and their energy gets into that, and then it actually creates the response that they don't want, right? Because they've actually spoken it into existence, energetically created so much immense anxiety in their system that then it actually comes to fruition. So instead, we actually just cancel, clear, delete, and then you state the thing that you're wanting the most. Does that make sense? And that's how you get back into alignment. The more that you do that, just tell your friends, tell your family, just be like, I'm going to say cancel, clear, delete anytime. Or you can say it in your mind. If you're around other people, you don't want them to know, but generally just outside, cancel, clear, delete, not truth, not my truth, but just cancel, clear, delete, and then state the opposite. And again, remember, I am or I have. Nothing is ever in the future tense. We never go, I will do this, I will do that. No, we already have it. You already are it. You already have it. I'm so happy I'm in my ideal body. I lost weight so quickly and easily. It's like done, right? It's already done. You spoke it into existence. It has been created. It's done. You don't need to worry about it anymore. It's not, I'm working on, no, you're not working on anything. It is done. I am, I have. It's already in your consciousness, right? Does that make sense? Yeah? I hope so. Okay, guys. So that wraps up our second class for Whole for the Holidays. On that note, I'm going to go get more sparkles on my nails. And I have to pick up some presents and do all the things. But I want to tell you, oh my God, Veronica, you are awesome. I sometimes look at a body part that isn't where I want it to be yet, and that helps. Yeah, so another thing, when you want to work on a body part, place your hand there, give it loving energy, and thank it for how it's supported you, what it's done. So if it's your legs, it's like I used to hate my thighs. You know, I like more muscular legs. I was always one of these like long, thin, but I'm 5'4". I don't know what I was like, can't you stretch me? Now I love my legs. Love them, love them, love them. And I just started, I was like, thank you so much. Thank you for being strong. Thank you for guiding me. Thank you for carrying me around the world. Thank you for being with me when I got sick. Thank you for, you know, I put you on planes. I put you all around. I'm not always that nice to you. You ground me, you know, like, thank you. And I started just, thank you. Thank you for your amazing strength. Thank you for, and thank it for all that it does for you. You know, we are energetic beings. We are animals by nature. Your body hears everything. Just like when they do those studies with plants, and they're like, one person said to this plant, like, I hate you every day, and it died. And another one, and it got water, and another one didn't get water, but was told it was loved over and over again, and it bloomed. Guys, we're energetic beings. Let's like really bring some magic into this and start giving yourself the love that you've always wanted from a partner. Mate with your own soul, right? I teach about this in our Weight Loss for Life program with my private clients, about how important it is to actually be that cheerleader for yourself. One of my clients, you know, said to me, she's like, I was always looking for a cheerleader in somebody outside of me. I always would just say, I just wish my husband could have my back. I just wish this person could have my back. And she's like, but now I have my back. And yes, that's what it's about. Be who you want to show up for you. And trust me, the other people will come, but you have to be the first one. Get it? Okay. Now, if you signed up for the series, you also got the 14 days of holiday tips. Like I said, they're being dropped in your inbox. If you don't know where they are, check your spam, check your junk. Always email support at Melissa Kathryn. We'll be back to you within 24 hours. My team is awesome. The other thing that I was going to tell you guys is, are you ready? I think you're ready. If you are on this call, then you have an opportunity. There are 7 spots. You're going to get an email tomorrow. Keep your eyes peeled. What you're going to get. So around the holidays, I always like to give a give. This is my give. This is my free give, my freebie give back. You guys, I mean, I like to do them all the time, but definitely around the holidays. So if you want to get from me what it is, my God, where is it? What is wrong with me? Where did it go? Nothing's wrong with me. Everything's right with me. Hold on. There are way too many things open in my browser. Where did it go? Very good question. What I was going to tell you, oh, my God, it was right in front of me. Don't laugh at me. No, here it is. Oh, okay, this is my gift. Thank you. I was like, wait, where did it go? You're gonna have an opportunity. Now I could only open 7 spots because I only had like, as you guys know, like I said, I have a lot of work to do and I'm going completely in the dark for the holidays. So what I wanted to do though is it's a higher self weight loss activation session with me. It's a 20-minute session. This is a higher self activation for weight loss and your health and well-being to guide you through to the holidays. Now, here's the thing. The first 7 people that sign up, I only have 7 spots. I'm sorry. I tried to do more. It's just not possible. But that is what I wanted to give as a gift before I leave. And I want to honor those that come live. I always like to do that. Now, here's what I want to say to you. Please only take this spot because it is my personal time. It is a gift out of respect for me and to your fellow ladies here. Take a spot if you're 1,000% available to do it, and not if you're like, I think I'll get there, but I'll just take it anyway. Don't do that, please, because, you know, it's a gift. Yeah, they're awesome. So what happens in, what does that even look like? What's a higher self weight loss activation session with me? What does that look like? I actually just call in for higher guidance and any divine guidance, whoever shows up for you. Everybody has different people that show up, and I receive different guidance for them. Like I had a call with a woman yesterday, and we went in, and her mom showed up, and her mom had passed away 5 years, and she's gone into a dark depression from it. And the guidance was like around her mother actually passed because it's her opportunity to fully live, because there was such a high dependency. So there's like different messages and things that come through. Now, the other thing was she was thinking she was really struggling with depression when, yes. And it was also just simple things. You know, like I was like, anybody's going to be struggling with depression when they're not moving, they've put on excess weight, and they're taking depression medication. That's cutting off feeling. And so there was a lot of guidance that came through for her that supported her in actually just feeling like she wasn't broken. And she's like, no one seems to know what's wrong with me. And it was really clear to me, you know, I wasn't by no means was I like, oh, you're not depressed. It was simply just saying, like, if you took any woman and had her disconnect from intimacy with her husband and have her tell herself that she's broken and not enough, and feel like a victim to the loss of her mother and fixating on being a victim in that story, right? Because that's a broken story that's supporting the ego, right? And not actually your higher self, because it's not a victim, right? We want to look at like, what is the gift? What was the thing there? How can that actually bring us, right? So these calls are all different. And what it's actually one of the things that spurred me to it is because I've had so many random people find me, not random, sorry, that sounded very not right. People that I just haven't really known before that have found me online, and a lot of guidance has been coming through for them, where I've just kind of shared some messages. And I haven't had it in my calendar to actually have, I haven't had any room to be able to give the gift of a call. So I've been able to facilitate and support, and I received a bunch of messages back that like, it has made all the difference for them. Oh my God, they're on the other side, weight's falling off, this, that, all these incredible things, off of a few tweaks that I made energetically, along with just practical nutritional and fitness guidance, combined with intuitive guidance and clearing blocks that I saw that were in their system. So that's what really spurred this divine download to do a higher self weight loss activation. So if that's something that you want, you're going to get an email tomorrow. There are 7 spots. Yeah, so that's what I wanted to give you. So I hope those that it speaks to definitely take that on. And I just wanted to say thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being part of this community. If you're not yet in the Wholeness community, please do that. If you have not subscribed to the Wholeness podcast, Wholeness community is free. It's on Facebook. And if you've not subscribed to the podcast, please do so. Share it. If you like it, please leave a review. I'm not going to lie, a little 5-star doesn't hurt. And then the other thing that I was going to tell you is on the 30th, I'm also going to be doing a spiritual It is going to be around 2020 intention setting, releasing and what we're calling in around manifestations and health and well-being. We're combining a lot of different things. So stay tuned in your email, because if you are not on my list, go to my website, sign up. But if you're here, I pretty much believe that you are. And that's another amazing live class and training that I'm going to be doing to support you guys in 2020. And what else do we have? Trying to think. Oh, and if you wanted my food freedom bundle, I know I'm getting a lot of emails about that. Stay tuned. I know if you missed it on Black Friday, I am working on something for you. And I think that's it. We will have some other holiday things coming at you, so stay tuned, and a lot of other support and just things to support you. And just like I say, support, but like let's just all live really big, bold, awesome, vivacious, glamorous, like epic lives where everything we want is like hello, and we're all just like living in it. Right? So reminder, you're not meant to struggle. You are worthy and deserving of your desires. Everything is meant for you. Change your stories, change your experience, change your results. All right? I love you so much. Thank you. And I will see you in the wholeness group, on the podcast, all the things. Stay tuned. Much love, guys. You'll get the replay tomorrow, so don't worry. I think I got all the questions. Yeah. Oh, Lisa picked me. Girl, you can sign up. So I would love to say I got a pick, but you guys can sign up. All right. I will talk to you. And for those of you that I get to talk to you, that get the session, I will talk to you then on Thursday. All right. Much love. Bye, guys.